following program is a presentation of the Weekly Credit Report. Now, the president of United Credit Consultants, a certified FICO professional and a national credit restoration expert, your host, Joe McGlynn.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Weekly Credit Report. I'm your host, Joe McGlynn. This is the Weekly Credit Report, your weekly source of credit topics and education. Minnesota's largest credit repair restoration company, United Credit Consultants. We are here live this morning taking your calls. Hotline here is 651-989-5855. We're taking calls this morning, all things related to credit, credit repair, credit restoration, credit topics. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. If you're listening this morning, streaming online through your smartphone or iHeartRadio, welcome you as well. You can find us as well on Facebook, Twitter, for special events. Friend us, like us, follow us, all that good stuff for special promos, all that fun stuff. We have a full show, a lot of talk about. The show topic today is spring into action. Obviously, we have these shows already pre-made, pre-booked a few weeks in advance. So we were hoping, obviously, by mid-April it's going to be a little bit nicer than this so we can talk about spring and things like that. But I think everyone has to deal with this. But we're going to talk about, obviously, when it comes to spring into action, we have a few testimonials. We're going to talk about restoration tactics and repair options and what to do, what not to do. I have a few senior credit advisors with United Credit Consultants in studio this morning. Ryan Boyd, senior credit advisor with United Credit Consultants, and Jared Havens, senior credit advisor. Welcome, guys.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
Hey, we're going to go through some business credit a little bit in the beginning segment here, and we're going to finish off the rest of the segment, rest of the show with obviously some personal options, topics, things like that. I like to mix it up a little bit. Ryan does a lot. Ryan works a lot with a lot of small businesses. So is Jared here. A lot of small business, a lot of people that flip homes in the Twin Cities area that need those funding options, those that need the $100,000 or $200,000 line of credit, that don't want to go to the guy on 3rd Street that's going to borrow money at 10, 20, 25% interest, and you need it back in 90 days kind of feel, or have to continue to use your personal credit all the time to get these loans to flip the houses. Or maybe you own a painting company or a plumbing company or electrician company, or you want to start your own company.
Construction, remodeling.
Yeah, really anything. So we are the only company here in the state that does this, and it's not credit repair for businesses, because most people, like Ryan and Jared and myself, already are aware of. It's not that people already mess up their business credit. It's most companies just don't have it lined up or have not put it together, and their profile isn't done correctly. So it's not so much business credit repair, it's more business building or business funding, correct?
Yeah, credit building, as far as the business. And the biggest thing is that you don't even know where to start. So that's what we do, is we have options to help your business establish and build your business credit, put your business credit profile together, so that you can get approved for the lines of credit to help your business become more successful and grow.
Oh, here's like what you said there, Ryan, was most people don't know what to do or
don't even know where to start.
And the thing is, most people don't get that information or don't know that they didn't know what they're doing until they get denied at the bank.
Exactly. They're going down this route, and they've already been denied 3 or 4 times, including their personal bank, where they have all their business accounts with. They've been established for 3 or 4 years. They've got, they can show positive, cash flow, accounts receivable, accounts payable, all these different things, and they don't understand why they're getting declined, and they don't know what to do. So,
and business credit and personal credit are 2 totally different topics, and I'm going to explain that a little bit. When you have personal credit, you naturally go into a bank and get a credit card or an auto loan or any type of lending situation. You're automatically going to assume that stuff is going to report to the bureaus. You're not going to have to go into it in too much detail or look into it or be almost paranoid in the sense that the stuff isn't going to report correctly. The problem is with business credit is Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business, and Equifax Business, the 3 companies there that report business payment history, they're younger, they're newer, so they don't have such a robust formula like it does personal, and it's not so streamlined like it is personal. So when I've talked to many company owners and business owners here throughout the years when we do this, a lot of them in the beginning will say, well, we have some business accounts, we have some business trade lines, this and that, and we're paying them, we're doing a good job on that. But the problem is, and the thing I always look into is, let's see if this stuff is reporting, because a lot of banks out there don't report to the specific business credit reporting agencies, Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Credit, like I said, and Equifax Credit. So people will have, a few different business, credit cards, or maybe a personal credit card, but they use it for business and they get a little confused on that. So it's the key is to understand before you do anything, the first step you want to make sure of is what is reporting. Do you have a DUNS number? Is everything put together correctly? Is your profile, in a sense, put together in the right way where when you do open up a new trade line through your business, is that information going to report to the right profile so it's all under one account, right? And that's the problem with the business. It's all manual information. You got to babysit this stuff. It's not streamlined like it is in personal. So when you open up a Quill account or a Staples account, and you're naturally thinking, well, I have it open and I'm paying it. Why wouldn't it be reporting? Because not all companies will report, or they're not reporting it to the right account information because you put the wrong information in, or maybe, Dun & Bradstreet has the wrong information. So you got to track that stuff. And that's what we do. I mean, that's just one part of it, is really before Ryan, Jared, or myself, or any of the other credit advisors with United Credit Consultants will put more into your profile. We want to take a step back almost and really review your file, see where you're at. Hey, where are you sitting right now? What's going on? What's reporting? What's not? Is it put together the right way so when you move forward, you are successful? It's reporting. Any item that you have open, when it comes to business, it's called a vendor. So any vendors that you currently have open and established, you're getting you're the best bang for your buck, and it's reporting correctly. So you're able to get those massive lines of credit for your company to grow, right? To me and to my guys here, how we're trained and how we look at this business funding situation is really simple. We look at it as not an option to pay back loans. It's as much as the economy is hurt, or people can talk about it's always a little flimsy and it's just always on the edge. People get nervous. Listen, right now is the time to own a business. People are nervous. That means it's the time to buy. I mean, that's how I've always looked at it. Don't be scared. And the people that are listening right now that are driving around, they own their own business, I'm talking to them directly, right? I mean, put yourself in a position to where you have the funds available, so when you're able to get an opportunity to grow, you're able to get that second building, second vehicle, grow in your marketing campaign on the radio. You're able to take that situation and you're able to, grow with it without having to leverage your a second mortgage on your home, or have to trade in your vehicle, or whatever the case is. Don't look at this funding option and what we do here as a way to pay back your debt. But that is an option. Don't get me wrong, but it's a different mindset. It's about, let me get in a position to where when a situation occurs, I'm able to jump on it. I'm able to grow. I'm able to hire that new person. I'm able to take on that larger job that every other company in the area can't take on because they can't float, 3 months of work with 3, employees. But I can, because I got that $200,000 line of credit now, and then you make 20% larger profit on that job. That kind of thing. I
think that's a big thing too, that when I sit down with business owners that I come across all the time, is that the biggest thing is they're not allowed to grow. They're not allowed to even do business right now because they still have accounts payable from previous jobs that haven't come in yet. And then you look at their personal credit and you realize exactly what's going on, because they're using all of their personal credit cards are maxed out because of business expenses, because they haven't been paid on the last previous job. Well, they can't get started on the next one because, there's materials involved and stuff, because they haven't been paid on the last one. That's what the line of credit allows you to do, is to open up and give you that freedom to operate. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all the above, right? And that's the hard thing about the show here, is that we can only talk about something for so long. We see every shape and size business type person out there. We've seen corps, we've seen the one-man band, we've seen a group kind of entity. We've seen the startup, we've seen someone come in and companies come in that they're very successful already, that they're not leveraging their personal credit. They already have established business funding options or business credit reporting. It's about now, then that point, we take where they're at and we tweak them and we put them even in a better position, right? So it's really any place you're sitting in business-wise, we're able to take where you're at, and then we're going to be able to build that game plan for you and build that path for you when it comes to creating better options for you, for your business. Like Ryan just said, separating your personal and business credit history, so it's not affecting your personal. It's not really putting your personal credit in a crunch where you look overextended and you can't go and buy a used van because your business has milked all the money, even though your business could be very successful right now. You know, $50,000 in debt on your personal credit looks much, much different than $50,000 in debt on your business. So even though 50 grand, you could have that, you know, fluctuating every given week, on your personal, it looks horrible. Business, that's great. Hey, activity's good on your business. You know, 50 grand's nothing compared to 50 grand personal. You know, that it's a totally different mindset. But then again, like I said before, we're the only company, United Credit Consultants, in the state here that works with companies like that are the smaller companies. We've worked with larger ones, but we have people that come in, and the fun part about the business side of things, and Ryan can attest to this, we've got people in position, we've got companies in positions to where they went from being declined at that traditional type lending institution, TCF, Wells, U.S. banks of the world, to being approved for $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 line of credit loan, or, you know, payroll type situation within 30 to 60 days before. It happens very, very quick because the history of business is not used like it is for personal. So you're able to open up vending options and new accounts much, much quicker on your business. And inquiries don't affect your business like it does personal. You know, history of how long have you had the account doesn't affect your business credit as much as it does per person. It's just different types of, they're looked at totally different. So it's not that same kind of thought of you have to go open up a few accounts and let it marinate for 2 or 3 years.
It's a completely different formula.
It is, 100%. It's totally different in the way the banks perceive you. And when I say you, this is the reason why I say this, because it's not you anymore. It's an entity. It's a company, technically. So they really don't care about what you did in the past. All they care about is what are you doing in the future and how much money are you making in the future. So that's why we're able to get people in that position to where, or companies, I should say, rather, in a position to where you're able to have that money. Now, am I saying go and spend it all? Of course not. I'm just saying it's nice to know that you have the opportunity to have that $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, you know, line of credit, loan, banking opportunity there when needed. I mean, that's a huge piece to most companies, you know, situations where if you ask most company owners, what's your largest issue? It's probably flexibility on their cash, you know, their cash flow. You know, we got jobs out, you know, coming in like crazy, but like you said, we got invoices from spring last year still coming in. People are still paying, you know, and this and that, where if they had that extra flexibility, they would be able to take on a few more jobs and keep on bringing in that money.
Think about this situation. See if this hits home with anybody that's listening. If you currently have, you know, some sort of line of credit or revolving trade line that you're using for your business, and you're paying it off, you are forced to pay it off more than once a month because it's not big enough.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a perfect situation, and I know there's a ton of people out there that are listening. There's a ton of people that I've sat with in the last month that are in exactly that situation. That is costing you money. Okay. So to have access to a line of credit that's, you know, just say, let's simplify it, just say $50,000. Okay, so you're not having to pay your $5,000 thing off 6 times a month. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's huge.
Yeah.
And that's what we can help you do.
And it costs you money because you're maxing out your personal credit report, let's just say. And if you're maxing out your personal credit report, that means your score's lower. If your score's lower, your interest rates are higher. And it's a snowball effect. So understanding that right there, let's say, Ryan, the person doesn't do that. Let's say they have a $5,000 line of credit and they're not maxing out. You're still needing this because you shouldn't be using your personal at all. I mean, that's kind of the whole mindset. It's if you want to do it right, I don't care if you're using or leveraging your personal credit correctly already. You shouldn't be using your personal credit at all, technically, because it's not you. It's the entity, and the entity should have its own credit history. Your company should have its own report history and payment history and accounts open. You should not be personally guaranteeing any of that stuff. That's how we're able to put you, your file, your company in a right light to where actually not only is it the fun part where you're able to get all the money and it's fun and it's exciting, but you're actually protecting yourself too, because worst case scenario, as being the owner of United Credit Consultants, I know always worst case scenario is the worst fear for any company owner is closing up shop. Well, if that ever happens, then you're not spilling over to your personal credit. If you do a BK bankruptcy business, it's not going onto your personal credit report and just, it's like a tattoo on your credit report for the next 10 years, right? Because the thing is, with business, you're able to go get a new LLC. It's almost like opening up a new Social Security number. Unfortunately, you can't do that, though, personally. You can't go and get a new Social Security number and press the restart button and start all over. That's the protection piece there. If you have any questions about business credit, if you're listening in and you're curious about it, or you want to tell your story, you want to hear, or you have a question about that, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Our hotline here is 651-989-5855. Now, if you want to talk to one of our advisors personally, off air directly, our office line is 800-455-4100. That's 800-455-4100. We're located in Burnsville, the Twin Cities area. We're open 6 days a week. We're actually